An amazing day, kiddos! Let's learn English with Sir Neil. For today's lesson, we will be unfolding linear and nonlinear text. But before we start with the lesson, let us activate first your prior knowledge. In this way, it will help you understand the lesson easier and make meaning out of it. Now, let's play! Choose it! Identify what is being described in each item. You may opt to choose from the words below. Ready? Let's begin! Number 1. A visual tool that uses bars to compare data among categories. The correct answer is bar graph. Hooray! Number 2. A circular statistical graphic divided into slices to illustrate numerical proportion. The correct answer is pie chart. That's great! Number 3. A graphical display of information that continuously changes over time. And the correct answer is line graph. Congratulations! Number 4. A diagram that shows suggested relationships between concepts. Typically represents ideas and information as boxes and circles, and uses lines to show the relationship between them. And the correct answer is concept diagram. That's good! And for the last item, number 5. A virtual depiction of similarities and differences between two or more different items. And the correct answer is Venn diagram. Very good! Congratulations, kiddos! Did you know that all the ideas and concepts in that activity have something to do with our lesson? In fact, those are some examples of nonlinear text. Are you now excited to get started? Likewise, I am now so thrilled to teach you. But let us have first our objectives with the hashtag squad goals. At the end of this video lesson, you are expected to differentiate linear from nonlinear text, analyze relationships between textual representations, transcode linear to nonlinear text, and vice versa. Now brace yourself and let us fill up your minds with this valuable knowledge and information. Let's go! Understanding the differences between linear and nonlinear texts is an essential skill as we encounter these texts almost every day. The main difference between the two lies in the way the text is read or processed by an individual. Experts call this pattern or reading a material as reading path. A linear text follows a sequential reading path, where the reader tries to make sense of the text through grammatical arrangement and relationship of words. A linear text is actually a traditional text that needs to be read from beginning to end in order to make sense of its content. On the other hand, a nonlinear text is non-sequential. This means that the readers, not the author, decide how the text is to be read without necessarily following a prescribed patterns. The common examples of the linear text include novels, poems, short stories, letters, newspapers, educational texts, and the like. While for the non-linear text, the common examples are flowcharts, charts, graphs, graphic organizers, and the like. Since we are pretty much exposed and already aware of the linear texts, let me show you then some of the most commonly used nonlinear texts. To start with, line graph. A line graph is a graphical display of data that continuously changes over a specific amount or period of time. The line or lines represent movement and may ascend or descend depending on the trend they show. Line graph. The next one would be the bar graph. The bar graph or bar chart is a graphical representation of data that uses bars to compare data according to given categories. Such bars may run either vertically or horizontally. Bar graph. Another nonlinear text is pie chart. Pie chart or pie graph is a circular statistical tool. It uses portions or slices to represent numerical proportions or percentages of given whole. Pie chart. Another one is the Venn diagram. The Venn diagram uses overlapping shapes, usually circles, to show the similarities and differences between two or more items, or even concepts. Venn diagram. Great! Since you are now aware of the differences between linear and nonlinear text, let us now transcode a linear text to a nonlinear text. To transcode a linear text to a nonlinear text, one may follow these steps. Step 1. Read and understand the source text to get its main or central ideas. Now let us all read silently this paragraph. I hope that you have understood the text. Step 2. Extract important details to be included in the visual presentation. As we read the paragraph, we found out that it talks about two different animals revealing similar traits. Thus, we could start visualizing of what our nonlinear text may look like. It must contain the similarities and the differences of the two animals. Step 3. Remember to use words or phrases only. It is not necessary to write the information needed in complete sentences. Step 4. To be organized, classify information into categories. Like what we did, we categorize the information based on the sharks and whales' similarities and differences. Step 5. Make sure to use the appropriate nonlinear text in presenting your information. Let us now review what we have discussed. What nonlinear text could we use to show similarities and differences of certain items? That's right! Venn diagram would be the best nonlinear text to use. That's awesome! Therefore, we could now use Venn diagram to properly and creatively show the similarities and differences of sharks and whales based on the paragraph that we have read. Isn't it great? At this point, let us have a fun challenge to assess if you really understand our lesson. Click it. As the name suggests, you will just simply click or tap the icon on your answer, whether linear text or nonlinear text. Are you now ready? Let's do this! Line graph is a nonlinear text, correct? While newspaper is a linear text. That's great! Speech is a linear text. Very good! Charts and graphs are nonlinear text. You're doing great! And short stories are linear text. Amazing! Good job, kiddos! You have now successfully finished this video lesson, and I believe that you surely learned a lot, especially with the linear text and the non-linear text. Again, the main difference between linear and nonlinear text lies in the way the text is read or processed by an individual. Experts call this pattern of reading a material the reading path. A linear text refers to the traditional text that needs to be read from beginning to end, and in order to make sense of its content. It follows a sequential reading path where the reader tries to make sense of the text through grammatical arrangement and relationships of words. The common examples of this type include novels, poems, short stories, letters, and educational texts. A nonlinear text, on the other hand, is a non-sequential. This means that the readers, not the author, decide how the text is to be read, without necessarily following a prescribed pattern. The most common examples of nonlinear texts include flowcharts, charts, graphs, and graphic organizers. Now, you are ready to answer and complete your learning tasks. Refer to the WHLP or the weekly home learning plan I have provided. It's been a fruitful and well-spent time with you, kiddos. Again, this is Sir Neil, a proud Sheehan builder and educator. Leaving you with a statement by John Wooden. Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. Bye-bye!